Well, folks, it's the day after the night before, and of course, Newcastle United triumphant once again in the Champions League with a 3-0 win over Benfica. The Portuguese media have heaped praise on Newcastle United for their performance, but then when they've done the player ratings, it looks a different story, so we'll come on to that. And also Jacob Ramsey, who came into the side yesterday, of course, according to some media outlets, didn't take his opportunity, which I find very, very puzzling. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Newcastle United latest news right here on the Toon Review. My name's Paul. Thank you once again for watching the video. We'll start off with the Portuguese media because they've heaped praise on Newcastle United and certain individual players after the performance last night. Now, look, whatever way you want to put this, Newcastle were excellent last night, playing some brilliant football. Benfica had a little 10-minute spell in the first half where they did ask some questions. However, the rest of the game, we looked absolutely magnificent. There was some fantastic individual performances in there. And listen, tonight when we do the full match review, it is going to be very hard to put 4 players up, just 4 for man of the match. So stay tuned for that at 7 o'clock, guys, because that's going to be an excellent show. And finally able to celebrate some fantastic individual performances apart from the usual, which is a really nice feeling to have. You know, you've got players all over that field last night who did a job. And it's been reflected in what the Portuguese media have been saying about Newcastle United. In the article itself, Nick Pope is described as a top goalkeeper. Now, look, he made some great saves in the first half, but his kicking in that first half was dreadful. It was absolutely dreadful. He couldn't kick for toffee, and also the one that went for a corner was just mind-boggling. I don't know how he actually managed to do that, scoop it out to go for a corner from the position that he was standing. It was like he had flippers on his feet. However, second half, he stopped kicking the ball, and he started being more direct with his throwing. And his throwing was absolutely fantastic, which resulted in Harvey Barnes' first goal once he came on as substitution. So obviously he's been named as a top goalkeeper. They talked about Bruno saying that he pulled all the strings in midfield. 100% true. There's no doubt about it. That was one of Bruno's best games for a long time. Just dictating everything without Joe Linton there for most of the game. And of course, no Tonali. He had to do everything, pulling the strings, making sure Miley was covered at times, and also letting Jacob Ramsey sort of play his game, if you like. But he was everywhere yesterday, Bruno. Some of the passes were absolutely astounding. Of course, for the first goal, the through ball for Jacob Murphy to cross to Gordon. Through the eye of a needle, brilliant goal. And our skipper looked amazing last night. Nick Voldemade is a true pivot, apparently. Now, I can understand what they mean by that. You know, he's coming deep to receive the ball. He's turning, he's laying it off to the wingers, which he's very, very good at. Or he holds it up, allowing the midfield to come and help him, take the ball off him. He turns, goes on the attack, and the rest of the team do the job by moving the ball to the flanks, getting the ball in the box, etc., which we saw a lot of last night. So a lot was there, but the main player they spoke about was Anthony Gordon, and I think, look, he has to be highlighted because he was sensational last night. The best performance, probably in a Newcastle United shirt, from Anthony Gordon. He got the ball, he was direct, he took players on, he got to the byline, he put crosses in. He was just sensational. He really was brilliant last night. A goal, an assist. Come on. You know, it's an all-round complete game from Anthony Gordon. There's no doubt about it. He was sensational. And this results in, well, they've given him an 8 out of 10. Now, I'm sorry, but if that wasn't a 10 out of 10 performance by Anthony Gordon last night, I don't know what is. I'm struggling to think of what is the outstanding performance for a 10 out of 10. A goal, an assist, and just ran the Benfica defence absolutely ragged. This is what they said about Gordon. An arrow pointed at Truban's goal. The array of technical skills that distinguished Gordon darkened Dedic's night, obviously the fullback. The 24-year-old winger outmaneuvered the Bosnian fullback from the first minute to the last, both in one-on-one situations on the wing and with venomous runs into the penalty area. The Englishman international compensated for pivots with Voltemada's runs into midfield and appeared in the right place to tap in Murphy's cross in the 32nd minute into Truban's net. Now, it was a brilliant run. He timed his run to perfection, and the ball from Murphy was just pure bliss, as we expect from Jacob Murphy. In the second half, Gordon spread his wings on the left and was unselfish in the central corridor. He provided the assist for Barnes in the 82nd minute that sealed Benfica's downfall. So very, very complimentary marks. One player, though, who didn't get a complimentary mark from the Portuguese media was Malik Chow, which I find extremely strange because I thought Chow was superb last night. They give him a 4, which is the lowest out of any Newcastle player, but they didn't give an explanation as to why the 4 was given. Now, that is harsh. And like I say, I don't know why he was given a 4, but for me, extremely harsh decision to do that. But listen, I'm going to read the player ratings out now and see if you agree with them, because these are certainly not the player ratings that we're going to give on our review show tonight. I can guarantee you that these are not even close to being what we're going to give. So they give Nick Pope a 7. They give Kieran Trippier a 5. Now, granted, Trippier wasn't superb last night, and he did give the ball away a few times, but a 5, harsh. Botman only a 6. Malik Chow a 4. Dan Burn only a 5. Bruno 7 for that performance. Lewis Miley a 6. Jacob Ramsey a 5. I mean, we'll come on to Ramsey in a minute, but my God, Murphy only got a 7. Nick Voltemada a 6. Anthony Gordon 8, and Barnes a 7. Now, there's obviously there is other substitutes that came on in that game who haven't been marked, but that's astounding. And Portuguese media are claiming that these are fantastic player ratings. They're apparently fantastic. Where on earth is that definitive of a 3-0 win and a clean sheet, giving your centre-backs a 6 and a 4? Astounding. But apparently, these are good marks. I would hate to think, if I was a Portuguese footballer and I didn't have a particularly good game, what they would score me on a weekly basis. Because if our highest player from last night, according to the Portuguese media, is only an 8, then I'm sorry, that is absolutely staggering. Staggering. Now, I did say we'd speak a little bit about Jacob Ramsey. Now, he's come under fire from certain elements of the media today, saying that he didn't really take his opportunity against Benfica last night. Now, I don't know what game these guys have been watching. I thought Jacob Ramsey held his own. I thought he was good attacking. I thought he was good in midfield. He won the ball. He made some good passes. He combined well with Bruno and Miley as a 3 in the midfield, and he worked his arse off. So I'm not really sure where the hell they're going with that, ladies and gentlemen. But it says it was a rough night and a tough night at the office for the former Aston Villa star Jacob Ramsey. Unlike his midfield partners, Ramsey struggled to get into the game, unable to get a real grasp and create things in a fairly advanced midfield role. Crazy. 6 out of 10 ratings for certain elements of the media, which isn't as bad as obviously the Portuguese ones. But he wasn't apparently able to dictate play, although they did note he brought plenty of energy and effort to the middle of the park. I don't think it matters what certain Newcastle United players do on the pitch. They're also going to be analysed really harshly. Now, apparently, he only touched the ball 32 times, which was even less than Nick Pope touched the ball, who had a clean sheet. But I find it, it's his first full game back after injury. He's gone straight into the Champions League, but nobody seems to take that into context. Nobody seems to have commented on Jacob Ramsey and saying, his first full game back since a long layoff. He did really well. Or am I going blind here? I know I wear glasses, but am I that blind? I thought he was really good. But again, it's very hard to convince these journalists, certainly who don't live in the Northeast, who aren't Newcastle United journalists. They are just football journalists. They don't really have a clue quite frankly, about what's happened to certain players, whether they've come back from injury or not. They don't seem to care. And that's the problem I have with this whole report about Jacob Ramsey. It doesn't seem to be any of the North East guys making that assumption. But honestly, for a 3-0 win and a superb performance, there is some strange reaction to this game out there in media land, guys. But there you go. Let me know what you think. What do you think of those Portuguese player ratings? Absolutely mad, considering Jose Mourinho really praised us yesterday again after the game. And, of course, the media themselves talk about how wonderful our players were, but certainly don't reflect that in the player ratings themselves. Or am I looking at it a bit harshly and just say, 3-0 win, we'll accept those player ratings from the Portuguese? No, thank you. I don't think so. But let me know in the comments, what did you think of Jacob Ramsey's performance? Did you think it was good, considering it's his first full game back, thrown into the Champions League? It's never easy to come into that sort of environment, but I thought he did well. And just one other thing before I go, Jose Mourinho did make a point of, he thought St James's Park was a little bit quiet last night. Now, I wasn't there, unfortunately, due to my back problems. I can't get there at the minute, so can you let me know in the comments, what was the atmosphere like if you were at the game? Did you find it quiet in certain points of the game? I mean, he didn't say it was quiet all game. He said there was a great atmosphere most of the time, but he said it did go a little bit quiet in patches. Let me know. But thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please subscribe. It is very important to the channel. It helps us grow. And of course, you'll become part of a fantastic community here on the Toon Review. Do hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. And we'll see you back at 7 for the full review of the game. In the meantime, enjoy your day, folks. Take care.